Hey everyone, it's Brandy and you're watching Abstract Crafter. Today we have another sealing experiment to conduct, and we are going to test out Puzzle Guard, Do and Glue. Save, seal, and display your puzzles forever. But in this case, we're going to save, seal, and display our diamond paintings. Hopefully. So, if you're curious about how Puzzle Guard works, then just keep on watching and we will get into that in just a few moments. Why, hello friends, welcome back. And if you are new to Abstract Crafter, hi, hello, and welcome. I'm so glad that you guys decided to stop by my channel, spend a little bit of time with me today while I test out Puzzle Guard. It's just a basic puzzle glue. It's not unlike any other puzzle glue that I've used. I went through a phase where I did puzzles all the time, and when you get one that's stunningly beautiful and you don't want it to, you don't want to take it apart, you want to keep it forever, you get puzzle glue. I've got so many puzzles that are sealed, and it works really good, and it works long term. I mean, granted, you do get brush strokes and stuff, but it is easily found. I got this at Walmart in the toy section. They have it in this size and a bigger size. It comes with its own brush, so I guess we'll see. As per usual, it says to place it on a board or paper to keep our surface free of glue, because they're intending that you will spill over the edges. Then you pour it right onto the center and use the scraper included to pull the glue to the edges. Oh, that's right. It's not a brush, it's a scraper. But I think that should still work. We'll try that out. If it doesn't work, I do have a brush standing by. Plus, I want to add my glitter like I always do. I bought this quite a while ago, probably been a couple of years now, actually. Maybe 2 years, something like that. So, the packaging may have changed, but it seems fine. The consistency seems fine. It's just a glue. Just a basic glue. So, obviously we have some things to seal. Today we have a giraffe sticker that I have chosen. We'll do that. And, of course, our key ring, which isn't really going to be fair. I kind of feel like I'm taking a step back today because the last one was such a good product. I'm a little bit worried. But we have one side of this butterfly left. All 3 halves have been done. So I got to get ordering some new ones because I only have 2 spaces left on my other butterfly. And then it's done. So I do have a new round canvas for us to use, and in the last video I did a new square, a super colorful one, and I will link the playlist up in the eye since we are now on to number 8. The 8th experiment so far. So let me get set up, get zoomed in so that you can see, and we'll talk a little bit about everything while I apply the sealant to this side and to this sticker. And then, as you know, I'll go off camera and finish the rest of the experiments. Alright, we are zoomed in at 2.5%. So, for the sake of making sure that I keep it on this side, I didn't want to go pouring the Puzzle Guard on top in this instance. I'll try that method with the other canvases, but for this one I thought let's just use a brush. Old school Abstract Crafter. It's not really old school, really. So it's very thick. I don't know if you saw that when I was stirring it. It's very thick, very goopy. It kind of reminds me of a resin in a way, the consistency. No real odor, just smells like glue, like school glue, so that's good. And let's just get right in and start applying the Puzzle Guard. So with it being thick, I'm not sure how well it will be manipulated. How well it will be manipulated. But we will find out. This is probably something too that could be thinned out, and I will make that decision as we get further along in these experiments. So my biggest goal is those big gems, because there's so much space, like you can see that. There's so much space around them that's where I always get stuff stuck, like fuzzies and whatnot. But I really never, okay, so let's just talk real quick. Because I never really thought that these experiments would go so far as they have already. And the amount of products that are out there for different sealing purposes. And I honestly, I thought I was going to do like what I did in the first probably 4 or 5 videos and then do some spray adhesives. And then things just started appearing, obviously, when you're looking for that stuff on Amazon. Amazon tries to then customize it for you for your shopping preferences. And more things started coming up. And now there's a bunch of stuff from independent companies and stuff from like the craft stores, like the last one that I never even thought about using for diamond paintings, which I think is the case for almost everything. I think I've said that in dang near every video so far, but it's true. Like, that thought was just never there. Maybe if I had considered sealing diamond paintings sooner, but I always assumed that when the time came and I would need to seal a diamond painting, I would just watch a bunch of videos and go from there and make my decision based on other people's recommendations. And then I don't remember what I did. I did a video, and in it I kept thinking it was a framing video where I made DIY frames out of just stuff I had around the house. And in there I kept thinking, okay, these are going to be exposed and there's a lot of gapping. If there's ever a time to seal a painting, now would be the time. I am doing the center a little bit because it hasn't been done, and this will be the final time this gets any kind of sealant adhered. So I just want to make sure everything is in place and sealed, since it can get his little key ring back. So yeah, anyhow, that is the video that made me think that maybe I should seal some things. Like, I've always been afraid of sealing things because I don't want to lose the natural shine and the sparkle, which is what makes me addicted to diamond painting, is the finished look. But there's also some instances where the painting turns out so beautifully, and I think if I had to, seal it and risk dulling it a little bit to preserve the painting itself, I think that is a risk I might have to take in some instances. All right, sticker time. Now we'll pour a little bit on there and try the scraper. And I could probably just drizzle it right from the scraper. And I can already tell you that's way too much for this tiny sticker. So, I never saw these experiments going this far, and I haven't even began to touch the surface of the products that I want to try. So I'm guessing this is going to be a long-term series on my channel. And if you didn't catch the last video, I did mention in there that I was going to start doing wrap-ups after every, 10 products or so. And that way we can kind of get a recap before moving forward with the rest of the experiments. All right, I used the scraper, but now I need to get a few areas that the scraper can't. That worked all right, but it's entirely way too much glue. That was my fault. That's not the glue's fault that I poured that much down. And so yeah, I think that doing a little wrap-up video, or not even a wrap-up, like a recap, that was the word I struggled with in that last video so much to figure out. Recap video where I talk about all of the products that we've used to that point, and then kind of recap and do like, I kind of want to start ranking these as well. That's because that's how my brain works. Putting things in an order. I do have OCD, so putting things in some kind of order, it's just what I do. That's how my OCD works. I'm not like I'm not a hand washer or anything like that, or counting to an extent, but my OCD comes in the form of perfectionism, and sometimes it's a blessing, most of the time it's a curse. But that's all to tell you that that's why I think I want to do some sort of ranking system for these, so that it can help my brain organize all of the things that we have worked with up until that point. And I think as long as there's more products, we'll just keep doing these videos. Some of them will have multiple products, like when we get to the spray sealants and stuff like that. But so just keep recommending different products to me, or different methods. All right, so there's that guy. Yeah, I don't know yet. We'll see how it dries. And then there is the butterfly. So I'm going to go get these canvases done, and then I'll check in with you before I set these to dry overnight. Alright, so all of the experiments have been conducted. Now we will let these set up overnight. I don't know if they'll need it, but as always, if they don't, I will let you know. I do check on them periodically throughout the evening when I'm working on them. Right now, this one is, for the most part, dry to the touch. That one's a little gummy. I just did those two, and you can see it's all over my fingers already. Gross. Actually not. I like peeling that stuff off. And I had a thought I'll just share with you before we conclude these experiments for day one, that it wasn't the DIY framing that prompted me to start wanting to find sealants and experiment with sealants. It was when I bought the journal and I'd open it and all of the drills on the spine would pop off. That was what prompted me to want to start finding sealants. And I have a surplus here of resins, and that got me started. So that was what, I don't know how that popped into my brain off when I was finishing this. But that's how this all started. So real quick, up close of that. Up close of this guy, my favorite. Up close on the rounds, and you can see I chose a really dark canvas that should show off a lot better than that white one. So I will redo the experiments for the Judikins Diamond Glaze and the Duraclear High Gloss. I will redo those experiments off camera at some point and add them to this canvas. And our squares, which is another really colorful canvas. So this is where we're at. I will be back tomorrow, which I don't know why I always tell you that, because you won't even notice that I'm gone. But I think it's just a habit at this point. So that's where we will leave you for day one. I will see you in a split second with these guys all dried and ready to talk about. All right, here we go, day two. So I'm a little baffled. Okay, in a good way. So I checked on this like, I don't know, 2 hours after I finished applying it. everything was fine and dry, and it probably had been for some time. I am baffled because I honestly threw this into the ring simply because I had it on hand. And it's probably right up there. Like, the last 4 products, including this puzzle guard, have been amazing. So I would recommend any of the 4. And this is like right up there with the Tombow as far as affordability, whereas the Judikins and the Duraclear are probably a little more on the mid-range as far as prices go. But you can get a lot for a little with the puzzle guard. So I don't know if I know I initially said that all puzzle glues are created equal. I'm not entirely sure about that, because every time I've used it, I've noticed brush strokes and stuff like that. Granted, that's on actual puzzles, but I'm not really seeing any of that other than where I poured it on the sticker. But, you know, hindsight, I wouldn't do that again. I would just brush it on because it looks amazing. It's the first one to not dull the diamond at all. And I can feel it on there. So I just wanted to make sure I actually adhered it. It's just nuts. Because part of me thinks that I didn't brush over it. I guess I'll have to watch in the video and see if I actually did. But I brushed over the other gems that usually get clouded, and they all just look amazing. Like, now, unlike the other ones that I have liked a lot, I can feel this one. It's got like almost like a gummy texture, whereas the other ones I don't really feel. But anyway, let's just bring this up close. So this is completely sealed. This was done already, probably with the Duraclear. I can't remember offhand, honestly. They're all kind of blurring together. I have to watch the videos to know what I did on what, and even so, I'm never going to remember where any of it was adhered. The only reason I remember this one is because I know that there's no glitter whatsoever on this side, and I tried not to move it. But, so you can see, like, you can see so much sparkle, especially on that big diamond, and now I'm just really wondering if I actually did cover it. I don't think I covered it, but I covered this middle one. So, regardless, I think I really think I forgot to cover this stupid gem, which was the whole point in using this particular one, was to see how it covered over these gems with tons of cuts on them. It's fine. But you can see it is super sparkly. It's like there's nothing missing at all. Like, I never did anything to it. And that's on both sides of it. I don't know if that's showing through the camera, but I mean, I am like beyond impressed, because I honestly didn't think we would get any kind of results whatsoever. Now, with the sticker, obviously, I'm going to go back and do a separate sticker to add to the swatch sheet where I just brush it on, because if you look closely, you can see the air bubbles, and that's where I poured it on and used the scraper to scrape it, and then I used the brush to kind of pull some of it off. But I'm not really impressed with that method of application, to be honest, so I wouldn't do that. But at least not on stickers. I did do it on the squares, but not the rounds. So let's take a look at the canvases, because this is all that's on there, and you can't even tell that it's on there, except for where I put the glitter. I don't think it's necessary to put glitter and everything, but I do it as kind of to be consistent with all the other experiments that I've conducted. So, because my thought is on the ones where it doesn't do what it's supposed to do by sealing it and allowing the diamond painting to shine through as its natural sparkly self, that the glitter will come in and make up for that. But it's not necessary, though it is adding a little bit of extra. But you can see from moving it around, and black is probably the best color to show off any kind of sealant or experiment when it comes to diamond painting, because the sparkle is so much more intense on black. But you can't even tell where the sealant was placed. And I'm really hoping that my camera is doing it justice. But it, get you real up close, because you can actually see that it is in there. If you look at the canvas, there's the line. I'm hoping you can anyway, but I'm just so dumbfounded that I didn't think that this was actually going to do much of anything. And then here on the squares, it's the same thing. All it did was seal it and allow the diamond painting to just do what it does and sparkle. Now, I've said it many times that squares have more of a wave-like effect when it sparkles, and rounds have a more glittery effect. Now, my decision in picking this canvas was twofold, because it has the ABs as well on it. So I really thought that we could test two types of diamonds with this. I am going to go through and add a couple of them, the Judicins, the Duraclear, and the UV resin. Not poured, I'll just brush it on this canvas. But just to kind of, you can see, you can't see glittery on the white as much. You can see it on the other colors on the canvas. And they're not even really picking up because there's so much light colors. There's so many light colors. Wow, English, Brandy, English. I can't speak it very well today. So, I'm going to put in, I still haven't decided because I'm filming back to back. So I had asked in the Duraclear video about doing a poll and ranking them, and I haven't instituted any of that. And then I also asked if people wanted the video overview of all of the products, or to continue doing the photographs with flash and no flash. I did include those both in the last video so that you could kind of see what method. Okay, let's go over some pros and cons while I insert those close-ups of the video and the pictures. Now, I hope that they work well, because they are such a pain in the butt to edit into the video. Let me tell you, these videos take forever. So I hope it does some justice, because otherwise it's not worth all the effort. So that little vent aside, pros and cons. I have, again, much like the last ones, more pros than cons. So I'm actually going to start with the cons. And the only ones that I really can think of are the fact that it has a gummy texture, but I don't know, it's more rubbery feeling than gummy. And that's only on these bigger gems that I'm noticing it. I'm not feeling that on the rounds or the squares or the sticker even. The other thing I'm not a big fan of is using the method that they suggest for puzzles. It would work perfectly on a puzzle, but not on a diamond. Where you pour it on and you use the scraper included to pull the product around. All that does is create air bubbles, because it's an uneven surface, which anything is really going to be prone to that when you use it in that method. And I do see that on the squares as well. And you probably, if that picture has come up, you'll probably see that on there. And I did the same method there, where I poured it on and then pulled it through with the scraper. And I'm not a big fan of that. Brushing it on worked beautifully. It added a nice gloss and protected it and allowed it to be its own true diamond painting self. So the thing with 310s especially that is impressing me for a big pro is 310s can tend to look dirty. I wash all my canvases when I'm done adhering diamonds to them with a baby wipe. But even so, you can't get everything unless you sit there and wipe it over and over and over. But there's still no guarantee that you're getting it clean without literally running it underwater, which I do not recommend. But this almost acts as a cleaner in a way, and it cleans up the diamonds, makes the colors much brighter, and it makes them stand out a lot more. And even on the ABs, it really enhances that coating that is placed on ABs. It's got a beautiful shine, and I really hope, I may have to test some other puzzle glues to see how they work in the future, but we'll see. We'll see how many products we end up with. Like I said, this is going to be a new long-term series versus the short-term series I initially thought it was going to be. But it enhances the gems so beautifully. It makes them look more realistic. And that was the same thing that I noticed with the Duraclear, the Judikins when it was thinned out, and the Tombow when that was thinned out. So they really, I mean, take your pick, and whatever your price point is, you probably won't be disappointed. Now, long term, I can't say yet. I've heard complaints of the Tombow flaking, but we're not going to, you know what? We won't get into that now. I am going to be doing a wrap-up video. I've got 2 more products to go, and then we'll do like a recap before we continue on with the series. But there's so many pros to this, and it was very unexpected. It was a very pleasant surprise. It's so thin, and you can apply it so thinly that it's almost not detected. But it's still got such a strong bond that the things are not moving. And I say the things, but that's because there's so many different elements that I'm talking about. But it holds them in place. It bonds them together. It enhances the rhinestones. It enhances the ABs. It enhances the 310s. So I can't say enough good things about this. I hope the video or the pictures or whatever I inserted does these things justice. This is one of the few instances where I'd say glitter is absolutely not necessary. But that's why I add it, because you never know when it works with a product and when it kind of takes away from a product. And I do think that this is an instance where it kind of takes away, and it's not necessary at all. So, that's about all I have for this video. The next product we're going to work with is this Mod Podge Gloss. And I'm going to do it full strength, and then I'm going to thin it out. I'll probably do a similar mixture that I did with the Judikins with a 30/70. See how that works. If I need to adjust that formula, I'll let you know in that video, obviously. But this is just the standard gloss. I am going to eventually test out, there's a ultra gloss or a super gloss version of this. I don't remember right offhand the name of it. They have a pearl edition, which looks a little pearly. I don't know how that's going to look. I'm a little bit on the skeptic side of that. But they do have 2 different glitter versions. I'm going to try those. And then an abundance of sprays. I have a few other sealers that are going to be coming up. A couple lacquers. I mean, I probably have 20 to 30 more products in my wish list between Amazon, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and then there's all these independents as well. So we have a long ways to go with this series, and every few products, probably I'll do 10 this round. I think going forward, we'll recap every 5 products, just so that it ain't such a long time in between. But that is where I'm going to leave you today. Make sure that you subscribe if you have not done so already. It would mean so much to me. Make sure that you are hitting the thumbs up, because that tells YouTube that it's a good video and that they should recommend it to more and more people. And that in turn just brings more people to the channel and helps our wonderful and amazing family grow bigger and bigger. And then make sure you have those notifications turned on so that you don't miss any videos that I have coming up. And with that, I'll let you go. Have an awesome day. Have fun doing whatever it is that truly, truly makes you happy. I love you, friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.